Okay, cool.
Oh, action. Oh.
Actually, that is professional. I'm Joel from Horse Skeleton, and with me I have the amazing Gus.
Amazing Gus. I'm going to start using that.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't. I would be so flattered if you did, even once, but you don't have.
Tattooed. Amazing Gus.
Gus across the face. Yeah. All right, I can see. I don't know. I don't even know if I need to. Like, I want to introduce you, but like,
Couldn't hurt.
It couldn't hurt. It's Gus, who is the first and last of all episodes of all of the quality podcasts out there.
The alpha and the omega, the
Yep.
beginning and end.
Yep. The man who I, in many ways, have been inspired by because he worked in IT, in an equally kind of soul
Crushing.
Yes. Yep. Who edited all the podcasts for a very long time.
Yep.
Do you still edit? How much do
No,
you
I haven't done those in a couple of years now. Yeah.
That is so good to hear. Going on a bit of a tangent, what was your process? How did you motivate yourself to actually edit and release on time?
It was terrible. I mean, it was. You just had to do it. Like there was
Yeah.
no motivation. It's like it just had to get done.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it.
It was just the avoidance of the alternative, which is just only be horrible.
Right. So
Yep.
we had a set day it had to come out on. So it's like I know I have to
Yeah.
finish it and it has to be done.
Did you do it like late at night? Like, was there ever like?
Oh no, I did it during the day. Since luckily
Okay.
we were at least at work,
Yep.
so it's like it would take most of a day. So we would record,
Yep.
and then typically most of the next day was spent cutting it all together.
Jeez. All right. Yep. I'm totally with you on that. Like I have. So how? Like okay, with 1 hour podcast. I'm just curious. These are just different questions I've come up
Yeah.
for. Like a 1 hour segment. How much time would you spend editing that?
I don't know. I won't say an hour. I'll say an episode, which could vary from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. It would typically take me, I'd estimate, probably about 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours,
Yeah.
to be done with it.
Yep. Man.
Yeah, you
okay.
think it's fast? It's not. It's not. It
It's
really
not.
sucks. Yeah.
People don't believe me.
Yeah, it's like
so many people.
It's a whole day dedicated
It
just
is.
to that.
Yeah, and I actually, at my IT job, I can kind of say this now because things have changed, so I don't have to worry about the back, this coming back to haunt me. But I would very often, dual screens, and I'd have Audacity, and I'd like comb the audio, like to listen to, splice stuff together while doing my work. So it was like the whole game of like the Alt Tab game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that was a great time.
Except
But,
you got to make sure you don't alt tab to like porn or like
yeah,
something even
yeah,
worse.
that's not that
Like,
I.
oops. Sorry.
I don't know what you have on your computer. But at Rooster Teeth, you could probably get away with that.
We have a very different work environment. But I remember at my old IT job, I had a separate internet drop that nobody else in the company could use that I would plug straight into my laptop. So it's like I had my normal work drop, work network, and then my own private internet drop as well.
That's smart. No, that is really smart. But yeah, so like with your moving out of events, and now you're in a situation where now that the patch has kind of stopped for now, can you talk about what your role is going to be like?
So my role has always evolved at Rooster Teeth. When we first started, I was, our IT person. I maintained our website, did all local IT support. Then, we hired Adam Baird, and Adam took over all of that. Then I went from that, and I started our broadcast division, which is all of our live streaming, all of our podcasts. Built that up. Then we hired Patrick Salazar, and Patrick now has taken over all of that.
Yep.
Then I moved on and started doing events, and started doing RTX for several years. Kind of helped start the Sydney show. Then we hired Bethany and her team, and now they've taken over.
Us with their,
Doing great with it. So now it's like about the evolution, trying to find what to do next. So it's like each of those steps wasn't, in hindsight, when you look back in history, it's like it seems like a very linear progress, but along the way there's like little branches that maybe don't work and that die off, and you kind of like find your way. And right now, I'm trying to kind of focus my time on virtual reality and VR work.
Yes.
So like that's kind of where it seems like my time is focusing most these days.
Like VR, AR, and 360 video, like the whole.
I refer to it as immersive technology.
Yeah.
VR, AR, 360, binaural audio, anything that tries to like immerse the consumer in the entertainment.
And that is really exciting. I think that like, as far as the way in which you've taken on each role that you've had, it's kind of always been like, you're a good guy to be put in a position to make decisions because you just kind of.
Well, a lot of times what happens at Rooster Teeth is, this doesn't happen so much anymore because now we've got plenty of employees, we've got plenty of people, and everyone knows what their job is. But in the past, it always kind of became like something would come up and nobody could do it. It was like, okay, well, like I'll try to figure it out. It wasn't always about. I'm not saying I'm good at that.
You are
because I definitely
good at that.
Screwed that up plenty of times. But that's kind of what would happen. It was just like I'll try it. I'll run with it and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. That's the inspiring side of it. Is that you're just like whenever a new thing comes along and no one knows how to do it, you're just like, fuck it, like I'll do it. You do a great job, and then you allow people to step into the role, and then you move on.
Thanks. Yeah.
Instead of like kind of, because you could have easily like held on to it, but you brought it to a point where you're like,
well, I think that's one of the like the benefits of working at Rooster Teeth is that I have, even though I've been doing Rooster Teeth for 14 years, it's not like I've been grinding away at the same job for 14 years. Yeah. It's always like something fresh, something new, and things are changing, which is good.
That's true. Yeah. I love these. These are the moments where I cut the video for a little second. As an IT guy, I'm just going to run an event. Let's figure out what I'm going to do. And without like kind of going into too much detail, it's a charity event called like Generosity, and we've now run 2. I'm kind of going into detail, whatever. And running events is fucking stressful. Like it is. How did you survive so calmly?
When we started doing the first RTX in the convention center in 2012, at that point we'd been attending events as exhibitors for 8 or 9 years, and I thought I'd been to enough events that I understood how it all worked. And then when it came time to actually go into a convention center and execute on an event, I realized it was a whole other level of organization I wasn't prepared for. And I've told this story before, but I remember we had a discussion. We partnered with Freeman in the United States to execute our event, and we had a discussion where we had a table, right? And they asked me, what do you want on the table? I said, we'll set up an Xbox and a TV, and people can play. I forget what it was. I think it might have been Griff Ball or something. Yeah. And I said, okay. And then I got asked, where's the Xbox coming from? Where's the TV coming from? I was like, okay, we'll get it from here and here. They said, okay. What do you want on the table? Do you want a tablecloth? Do you want it draped? I was like, okay, we'll drape the table. Okay, how do you want the cables run? Do you want them run over the back? Do you want a hole drilled in the table? And I was like, well, drill a hole in the table. Okay, how are you going to plug them in? Is there a power strip? I was like, oh my God, do we have to do this for everything? Like every single thing has to be thought out. Like you can't just say, put on the event. Like, no, you have to think, like, every single thing comes from somewhere, and then when you're done, it has to go somewhere. Yeah. And it's a level of organization that I wasn't prepared for.
Yeah, but you did really well. So, I mean...
we did it. I wouldn't say we did it well. We did it.
I would say the first, Generosity, was a complete fluke. Like, it really... It's the second one, I have enough credibility to say we learned a lot from the first one. There's so much to this. It's like playing RimWorld, but, like... Have you played RimWorld?
No, I haven't.
You should play RimWorld. Okay. Well, maybe you shouldn't, because it's probably going to remind you of event coordination. But I'm just genuinely impressed by you, because you're always you're such a cornerstone.
I lost a year off my life doing that first event. Like I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, it was terrible.
Yeah. You can laugh about it now.
Oh, you can laugh about it now. Now it's Bethany's problem.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Cool. So. RTX now that just happened, the RTX Sydney, because we went RTX AU to RTX Sydney, does that mean that in the future there are going to be other RTXs happening in Australia?
It was more of a move to align the naming convention globally. So we have, maybe I'm tipping my hand here too much. So the shows used to be called RTX Australia, right? So we thought, well, that doesn't make any sense, because if we do another RTX in the United States, what are we going to call it?
Yeah.
So it's like we need to rename that one RTX Austin. So if we call that one RTX Austin, then this one's RTX Australia. That doesn't make any sense. So we had to rename the RTX Austin, RTX Sydney, and now you see it'll make sense now going forward. We have London. It's RTX London and not RTX UK. So it's just because we want to make sure that it's tied to the city and not the country. In the case of the United States, we do another one in the US. In case, I'm not saying it's happening. I'm saying if it eventually happens, it's just planning for growth.
I'm sorry to ask you that one.
No, that's fine.
That was pretty much where the direction of the question was going. No, that's fair enough. Naming conventions in IT, you need to have, you got to get in there from the beginning. No, I totally understand. No, he didn't say anything at all about a second event in America.
No.
He may have winked at me. You couldn't see it.
We've got to get through London, and then maybe we'll talk. Maybe.
I've had so much fun at this convention. Like, I really have. It's been being able to go to the media party yesterday. I know I showed up looking like Meatloaf and everything.
It's a cool shirt.
You liked it?
Yeah,
okay, cool. I've had some interesting responses from it, but
It's interesting for me because ultimately at my core, I'm a fan of video games and I'm super into the culture. So having been here, I feel very lucky, very fortunate because like younger me would have never believed that this was happening. Last night I got to meet Hideo Kojima and play the Nintendo Switch before it came out. I was like, well, I'm done. Like I'm going to change my flight and go back home.
Yeah. No, that was essentially my question. Like when I came in and I saw I was nervous, so I showed up early, and then circumstantially just ended up being here with everyone from Rooster Teeth, and it was just me, and I was faced by this really real moment where I'm like, I'm either gonna be that weird guy who looks like Meatloaf, who's just standing there, like the one guy that everyone's like, who is, or I'm just gonna have to say hi to everyone and chat, and.
I think that's the best approach is just to go up to people and start talking.
It's but then Ryan said to me, he's like, don't worry, because like everyone else is just as antisocial. Like we're all gamers, and do you get that? Like when you go to the conventions, on the other side of the kind of like looking back on how you being like a younger kid and how you saw this kind of stuff, or like when you met an idol, like if you met like an idol, someone who's an inspiration to you. When you walk around these conventions, do you get really anxious or nervous? Or do you just
I'm a super reclusive person. In fact, if you ask anybody else from Rooster Teeth if they've hung out with me outside of this event, they'll say no. Like at night, I don't go out. I don't see anybody. Like I'm very, I'm very like introverted and like shut down and shut in.
No, I go out because I have to go out. But like. Well,
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like here at the event, like I came to the media thing last night. It's like I know that I have to do that, and I'll be, kind of extroverted. And I'm okay talking to people, but left to my own devices, no.
Yeah, and you need that downtime, like in between, like.
But my time is always downtime.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's awesome. I like to hear this kind of stuff because that's why like you're such an inspiring person because you actually have, like. An introverted personality.
Yeah, I can relate to people on the internet.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And you can also ask everyone who works at Rooster Teeth. No one has ever been in my house. No one knows what it looks like. It's like a big secret. They all get kind of mad about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I've been listening for a while. Like, I mean that in the sense that I've been a fan for I think I told you this last time. So it's like I used to watch Red vs. Blue from the original, season 1. And this is not even going in any real direction. I've been a fan for a long time.
Cool, glad to hear it.
Yeah. I did genuinely ask you half the questions that I wanted to ask you in this interview on the night when I saw you.
Yeah, and we kept talking, and every time you ask a question, I say stop.
Yeah, I'm like,
stop.
They were good questions.
And that's what I encounter like before we do the podcast.
Yeah.
Like I'll try not to talk to Bernie or Gavin or whoever's on it because if they start talking, I just say stop.
Yeah.
Like we need to save this. Like we don't have a camera because you never know if you're gonna in the back of your head like, did we talk about this already or what's going on?
Exactly. Meeting Kojima, like you said, it was an amazing experience to meet him. Did you talk to him? Like you had a chat?
Oh, very briefly. His English isn't very good. My Japanese is non-existent, so we spoke through his translator. But he was on his way here to do his tech walkthrough for his panel, so he was in a bit of a hurry. But at least I did get a chance to chat very briefly with him.
Yeah. I've run into him twice, and both times literally I've either been in his way. So someone whispered, Hideo Kojima's here. And I yelled out, Hideo Kojima is here? And they pointed, and I was just blocking him from getting in yesterday, and I was like, that did not go well.
Yeah.
Sorry. And then this morning I was like running here to get to an interview this morning, and like I looked up, and he's like walking back to the area he's trying to go to, and we're like on a collision path, like, and I'm about 2 meters out, and it's me walking really fast, Iron Maiden t-shirt, my hair out, like looking kind of crazy, and he kind of looked at me for a moment of like, what is this guy about to do? And then I looked really nervous, and then I just nodded at him, so he nodded at me, and then he smiled, and I was like, I feel like as long as I never run into him ever again.
You're set.
Yeah, I'm forever in his good books, as opposed to whatever. Anyway, cool. I'm getting a little bit fanboy, so I just need to calm down. The patch. Now that the patch is over, as that like kind of finished up, I was talking to Ashley about it a little bit before. I was really upset just because like I'm very attached to the patch. Just because, like, when it came up, it was just an exciting additional podcast. So you could actually, when I ran out of like the one, I had the other. And I know you guys have a lot of new content that you're planning to do. How much are you going to be involved with the future stuff that's happening?
I don't know. The patch was always a weird project, and I think it suffered from the fact that it didn't have like a clear producer or someone clearly on point on it. Like when it started, I was primarily taking care of it.
Yep.
And then it just kind of meandered, like I didn't have the focus or the time to dedicate to it. So it kind of meandered with nobody in charge of it. And then it was Rooster Teeth, then it was the No, and Ashley took it over for a long time, and that went fine. But I think once we shut it down, we have meetings scheduled to really talk about like what is this show, and how we're going to approach it going forward. And I think since there was no clear producer, there was also no clear focus for the show. We didn't know necessarily what it was. So I think that we're going to sit down, we're going to talk about what should it be, who's going to take point on it, and then we'll go forward.
Okay.
And it's good to have a break because I felt like I was not playing enough games to be able to speak intelligently about them.
Yeah.
So it's been good to actually sit down and play a bunch of games, get caught up casually so that I can start talking about them intelligently again.
I can enjoy it, as long as you continue to keep podcasts. We asked you last year, so I was here with Mark for Owner Storytime at the time, and what your plans were. Did you see yourself continuing the podcast in 5-10 years' time? And your response was generally positive. So I'm just curious, like, how is that in this last year? If someone would ask you.
Yeah, I think it's still going. It's kind of daunting because there's never a break. You know that every week it has to happen. Whether I'm there, whether I'm not there. So I always have to make sure that if I'm not on it and I'm not taking care to pick who's on it, I have to assign it to someone else. I have to worry that they're doing it right, and it's just kind of never ending. So even when it is fun, it's still a very daunting thing to think about. So 5-10 years, I don't know. I really don't. I don't think it would go this long. I can't answer that.
Right. Hopefully next year I get to interview again, so I can just ask you how this progression.
In 5 or 10 years, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Hopefully it goes up, right?
Yeah.
It will. You can't leave, Gus.
No.
No, just like you can't.
It's my thing. The podcast is definitely my baby.
Yeah.
So I'm not letting go of that yet.
Seriously, like just hearing the old episodes when like you would get mad at like Apple, like as in Mac.
I still get mad at them.
No, I love it, but I love it because like so many people don't relate to that, and you do, and you worked in IT. It's just on the same page. So we had like one fan, and I was desperately trying to find something to actually get signed. So I'm going to send them the media pass of our cameraman, just because I think that would really. He's going to wear it.
He looks upset now.
Yeah, but would you mind signing this?
Sure.
Okay. And like one other random question, is that a tattoo on your hand?
Yeah. It's a infinity symbol in E for my wife Esther, and she's got a very similar one with the E infinity symbol in G.
That's awesome. You've had that. You must have had that for a while.
I've had it for like 4 or 5 years now, I think.
I've just never seen it.
Yeah.
All right. That's
very
really cool.
discreet.
Yeah, it is. Like I saw, I was like, whoa. Do you have any other discreet tattoos?
I've got one on my neck and then one on my back as well.
Okay. No bum cheek tattoos.
No, nothing like that.
No. All right. Okay. Just worth asking. It's good. My first tattoo, I kind of pretty much have to get a cupcake because my mom used to make these really famous like cupcakes. So I'm probably gonna get a cupcake with mom on a ribbon, But I don't know. I don't think it would go down very well if I'm like. If I have to go to jail, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, they'd like that. Everyone's got tattoos.
Well, they'd probably
there.
like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think it'll go down well for me.
I'm shocked that you're planning on going to jail already.
Well, no,
that is something that plays into your decision-making process.
I think like about once a week, I just get worried that like whenever I'm so nervous around police, like. If I'm on my mobile, I'm just walking down the street and I see a policeman, I just hang up and I just put my phone away and I'm like, stare straight forward. I just can't handle it. I don't know why.
He said, he's done something.
No, I have.
Police, if you're watching this.
No. Don't listen to him. As much as I want people to listen to Gus, don't listen to Gus. Anyway, thank you for coming on.
No, thanks for having me.
Hopefully I can see you again next year.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you in a second because this will be spliced in with some cool stuff.